Good morning, Colorado Springs. It's another brighter day in the neighborhood. I'm your host, Angela Jones, and we're bringing you another Brighter Day staff spotlight today. It's our special privilege to have one of our remote staff members, Jaynne Hayes from Lake Charles, Louisiana, here with us in studio today. Welcome, Jaynne.
Thank you.
So we were chatting just a little bit earlier about why Lake Charles. It's because we have that kind of oddly shared history of my former law partner. Perry Sanders, who founded Sanders Law Firm, originally founded his firm in Lake Charles. So my last law firm had an office in Lake Charles, and so we don't run across people very often in Lake Charles, but we found you there.
Yeah, so I am originally from South Texas, from a city called McAllen, Texas, and it's a border town. Not many people know about it, so I usually just say South Texas, even though they think it's San Antonio. But I moved to Lake Charles once I graduated high school in 2015, just, kind of to get away, start a new life. And I went to college at McNeese for a few years. It did get a bit hard working full-time and being a full-time student, so I kind of took a break and prioritized just kind of making a living. So for a while, I worked at the casino in Lake Charles, and that's where I met my husband. And then I started working for an immigration law firm there, doing pretty much like the business immigration side. So I was in charge of H-2 visas, which is agricultural visas or non-agricultural visas for like landscaping. And that was really fulfilling. The only thing was I didn't really get to work so much one-on-one with the foreign nationals, which I definitely identify with being Hispanic. So after a while, it was just kind of time to find something else and just kind of feel like I'm making a little bit more of a difference. So then that's when I landed with Angela Jones and her firm in a totally different area of law. But I'm really excited to learn more about family law and continue being a legal assistant of service. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that we're really focused on, we initially started Brighter Day Law, and when we developed our initial tagline, it's a family-focused law practice. And the reason, I chose that is because although we did, your traditional divorces, custody, protection order cases, things like that, I always had a heart to serve the needs of families in general. And immigration services are a huge part of that. And I had a professor in law school. His name was LeClaire, and he was from South Carolina. He used to say, the law is a seamless web. And it's very, very true in the family arena. I started working with business and commercial firms, but I found that I wanted to be client-facing, like you're talking about. And so tell me about your heart for people in that regard. Like, what really charges you up in terms of, getting to work directly for folks and helping them?
Okay, so I personally come from a family that was a bit rough. We had a sort of a family case going on as well. And being a child and not really have much of a voice, it was really hard. And so working in family law now and being able to assist the attorneys, assist the paralegals, and even, get to talk to clients one-on-one and know that I'm making a difference for, that child that didn't have a voice. To me, it's very fulfilling because I didn't really have that. And looking back now as an adult and how my case was handled, I wish I had kind of like the knowledge that I do now. So I am very emotional and personal when it comes to helping others because I didn't always have that help. And, I didn't want to like take too hard. I tried my hardest to keep my heart the way it is, not let that kind of like take over, kind of like you mentioned earlier during the retreat is, we are faced with many choices, and sometimes those choices are to cut off certain people and, kind of like you said, pick your own family. I feel like I'm in a better place now with a family that loves me and treasures me, and that helps me love and treasure others as well. So yeah, just kind of being able to be the light for others that don't really have that is really important to me. I am currently training to be a certified QPR gatekeeper, and what that means is that I will be certified to train others, especially the Spanish-speaking community in Lake Charles, about suicide prevention and kind of like,
Right.
kind of be aware about that. And that's also shed a huge light on, not just kind of helping in family cases, but also in a topic that not many people want to talk about. Not everybody wants to ask the question to save lives. And so
Right.
being able to be a part of those two things, it's just like, it really warms my heart and it brings the best out of me. Like, I know there's even more potential out there for me to be better. And, what better now that I'm still kind of young to keep growing in this career.
Right. And, we have similar like family history and backgrounds. I'm the oldest child in my family. And it was a little tough for, when I was growing up because things were happening with my siblings I couldn't do anything about.
And just like that, I feel like I had siblings that never really stood up for me. And that was definitely very hard. And I feel like the relationship is just not there. And it sucks, honestly. I don't know if I'm okay to
You're
say
totally
suck.
fine.
Okay,
we,
awesome.
we can talk about whatever we want, and
so-
they can edit out the middle if they
Yes.
need to.
It really hurts me because on my brother's side, I have two beautiful nieces that, they're my blood nieces, and I delight in them. They have long, dark hair like me,
Right.
our little Mexican sideburns. And, like, it really hurts me that it's a relationship that is hard to cultivate with them because I don't get to see them as much because it's hard when the person that hurts you gets to enjoy all that, and yet you're,
Right.
over here trying to figure things out and create your own family and love nephews and nieces that love you from, your in-law side. But yeah, it's definitely hard, and I don't really know much of your story, but what I do know is I have a huge heart as well, and just everything that you have going on. I was talking to Ashley earlier, and I was just saying, she was the first one that I talked to via phone when I was going to interview, and I was so nervous, but the way she presented you, the way she presented the firm, it was so clear. It was so loving. It was full of hope. And I'm just so thankful that I'm able to be a part of this growing company and know that eventually I'll also get that confidence that all you guys have once I learn a little bit more about the process and be able to bring that confidence into our clients, so they can get a better idea of brighter day because we are here to make their days brighter.
That's right.
But yeah.
So, and that's really going back to something you said, which is, notwithstanding what you've gone through, there's that struggle. There's that very real struggle to, be strong, but also stay,
Humble and
but soft also in your core to keep that tenderness that you really are, not to completely lock that away, especially when you've gone through things. And I think that for me was part of the reason, like, we have the vision that we do to improve the lives of kids, because kids get wrapped up, like kind of pulled up in these things. And, we can't always directly help the children, but if we can help the grown-ups that are involved with the cases, if we can call them to be their highest and best selves, if we can, put ourselves in the position, through the legal process to reach in and actually serve the kids that are involved in a case or affected by a legal case, I think that's a really big deal, because probably like you, there were things going on in our household that lots of people knew about and nobody said or did anything about. And I don't want ever, anyone to, come to us and not get help. It's okay.
Yeah, it's rough, and even though I try to keep my heart pure as much as I can, I did go through dark times, and I feel like I've just kind of always been a dreamer, and it's something that kind of keeps me going, even though it's hard to sometimes be, a little bit more in the moment and enjoy that. But for me, dreaming was what got me out, and knowing that I wasn't alone, because my grandma always believed, and maybe we can be the grandma to those children that need it as well.
Well, I think that's what makes us uniquely situated to assist with these situations because we understand the real impact of turning that blind eye or maybe not even turning that blind eye, but like just not knowing when people just don't know what to do. The thing that actually breaks my heart the most is when I know that there's something going on in a family and we're working, through the court system to try to assist and it's slow and it's not super responsive. And it's almost like, you're waiting for, imminent harm, sometimes. And so a kid has to actually be harmed, to help. And that's to me is the toughest part. And so, that's why I try, I'm so glad to have, you, young as you are, and with the heart that you have, to come and be involved in providing the services that we do to our clients because it is actually that history, that understanding of what's really going on and what's really important in these matters that really, to me, makes all the difference.
Definitely. It makes us have empathy even if we don't go through the same thing that they went through. And I'm definitely very grateful for that. I'm grateful it was me and not someone else. I'm grateful I was able to learn from that and bring this to your firm and, hopefully be able to help a million children as well.
Yeah. So, well, thank you very much. I would get into what are you going to school for? I mean, I want to learn more. I actually didn't know about I knew you were leaving to go to classes, each week, but I wasn't sure exactly what those classes are for. And we'll have to spend some time. I want to spend some time with you to learn more about that. Maybe we'll have you come back at another point in time where we'll do a Zoom interview so we can talk more about that and get that information out on that.
Yeah,
Jaynne.
stay tuned for part two.
Part two. Thank you.
Of course.
And thank you for joining us. A little bit of a emotional episode of a Brighter Day in the Neighborhood, but oftentimes it's, just the things that we deal with are emotional. But the great thing is that wherever we are today, we always do have hope for a better future and that brighter those brighter days ahead. So join us here again soon for another Brighter Day in the Neighborhood. And until then, have a brighter day.